All right, welcome back to the Happy Pod. Today we got Reagan Popoff on the pod. We are stoked to have you here, bro. Thank you for coming out, flying in for it.
Thank you for having me, bro. This is a sick setup. We got a dope view out here.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm stoked you're here, brother. Do we know how long you're going to be in town for?
Nope.
You're just
bought it one way.
You're just flowing.
Came here to film this with you and have some dope conversations. I actually only met you once in Oslo, Norway. So this is our second time actually officially hanging out, and that was just like one night too.
Yeah.
And we had
I remember.
We had a good conversation that I remember.
Yeah, we were talking about Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
stuck with me.
That definitely stuck with me too, because I remember thinking like, wow, how cool that someone with your platform and your following is, wanting to talk about these things. I feel like a lot of people, myself including, keep it kind of low key, aren't as comfortable as you are, just kind of like talking about it. And we can get into that. I'd love to talk about kind of like what the progression looked like. But first, bro, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of your cliff jumping, dude. You're insane. You do the craziest things I've really seen, bro. Like when did that all start, and how did you get into it?
Started during COVID.
Yeah?
COVID's when everything changed for me. All four of my grandparents died within a year or two span. They lived great lives, this and that, but it just opened my eyes. I was like, what am I really doing? Before that, I was really chasing money, trying to be this entrepreneur and like get rich quick, but I wasn't using my gifts, and I've always excelled at sports growing up, and I love parkour. I love just doing flips, but I couldn't do more than a backflip when COVID came. And then COVID came, they told everyone to stay inside. Screw that, bro. We're going to be outside. So we started going to some lakes and some bridges. And then I found this parkour gym that I started training at. And I fell in love immediately. And
What gym was it?
it's called Tempest Free Running Academy in Dallas. It's 25 minutes away from my place. At this time, I was working full time at this golf course as a caddy. And then I started training there every single night. So I subbed going out. It was from 8 to 11 p.m. every night. And so instead of going out with my friends, drinking or smoking or doing unproductive things, I started training every single night, bro, for like a year and a half before I even went on my first cliff jumping trip. Mm-hmm. But I knew I wanted to be a cliff jumper. And then I met the guys like Ryan and these other crazy Brandon Gross and these big cliff jumpers. And that's when I started to really start traveling. And then I left my job. And long story short, now I'm living on the road full time. Not even on the road. I'm kind of just like bouncing around, flying around. But yeah, I've been like, I'd say homeless for the past 2 or 3 years. I have a home base in Texas if I want to go back. But I don't like being back in Dallas.
Which is what? What's your home base back in Texas?
In Dallas. My brother, he has a house and he has a little room for me if I want to go back. But like, I don't really want to go back there. There's nothing for me in Dallas. So I've been on the road. I've been living in Hawaii, Costa Rica, the PNW, Austin, bouncing around Utah, Europe in the summers, and just been kind of going wherever the Lord takes me and like wherever opportunities come, and just barely getting by, bumming it. But now, yeah, I've just been meeting a lot of really cool people doing it. And it's been one of the most extraordinary times of my life. Even though I haven't been making any money, it's like I've been living free, bro. And like, man, the memories that I've accumulated and making videos, it's been really fun, bro. Meeting people like you in Norway, so random, like
so dope. Yeah, you were doing the Dodds comp.
The death diving, the world champs.
How'd that go, dude?
This last year, I didn't place, but it was still such a blast, bro. Just being around those guys. I don't go there to place. Mm-hmm. I go there to just compete with the best in the world, and it's just fun. I'm not really too stressed about winning these competitions. It's just cool to be there competing with them.
Yeah. I just love how it brings everybody together.
Mm-hmm.
Like the after party, that's where we met. Like, dude, the amount of dope people that were in that room was just insane. So cool. I love that stuff. I need to go. I was telling you earlier, like literally the cliff jumping community out of all the action sports communities is my favorite. The people are just next level. Something about just being out inside. It's such kind of it's a simple sport, right? There's not a lot of complications to it.
There's no money involved.
There's no money involved. You throw in a pair of swim trunks, you're barefoot, like you're connected to the earth, and you're just seshing cliffs and rocks, and it's simple. Anybody can do it. Everybody can relate to it, but I swear it brings some really, really incredible people together, and that's something I've always loved.
It does. It really is.
So chill. Everybody is just such a vibe. Have you done much cliff jumping?
I haven't done much. No, I've probably biggest one I've done is probably just in Moab, or not Moab, Lake Powell when we were down there. It wasn't one of the big ones. It was probably 20 feet is all.
Yeah.
But it's something I think would be a lot of fun. It's definitely, I'd say, a nerve-wracking side of me. Put me on a snowboard, I'm just fine. I'll go off a 40-foot jump, but put me on the 40-foot cliff. I'm like, that water looks firm.
Yeah, bro. There is something about that, because like I'm kind of scared of cliff jumping too, to be honest with you.
Me too.
I feel really good at like 30, 40 feet. That's fun. You know, I can do some doubles and like floaty singles, whatever, you know, but like you get me at like 60 and up. My biggest jump is 85 and that hurt. That was the bridge in Auburn. You know what I'm talking about? Have you jumped that?
You're talking about No Hands Bridge?
No Hands Bridge. Yep.
80 foot.
Yep. I jumped that. And dude, I thought I landed perfect, and freaking the water smacked the bottom of my jaw and just slammed my mouth shut, like bit my tongue and stuff. It wasn't terrible, but I just remember thinking like that was a lot more of an impact.
That bridge is scary too. They call it, well, it's called No Hands, but they call it the Thug It Out Bridge.
Why is that?
Because when you go there, there's no warm-ups. You just gotta like you know what trick you're gonna do, and you just gotta thug it out. That's actually where I did my first quadruple.
Oh, all right.
That was this last summer. We went to Pondo. You've probably been to Pondo. Ponderosa Bridge, where they had the rope swing. No, it's just outside of it. But we seshed that all day, and then I'd been planning this quadruple for a long time, and it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock. The sun had already gone down. The water's so dark. But all my boys were there, bro. You know, and like Jody was with me, and I've been training for this trick with Jody for a long time. That's the key, is like when you're training for tricks, like, yes, you have confidence, but when you have your boy with you and he's been seeing you train and he's like, bro, you're ready. Like, this is it. Like, it helps having that camaraderie of dudes hyping you up, but not just like, yeah, bro, send it. Like, you got it. It's like, no, you got it, bro.
It's different. There's a trust there. Like it's something else when you have confidence in somebody and you trust them. And when they give you that confidence back to be like, hey dude, you're ready, go do it.
Yeah.
It's a different level of confidence that they instill in you. And that's definitely the community of it, and having someone that has that experience of knowing where you're at and being like, you got this. It feels different.
It's huge. It's really important. And that gave me just, an insane level of confidence. And that's what I try to do with other people, is push them to be better, encourage them to progress and grow. And that's why I like cliff jumping, is because it's you versus you. And it's something I still get scared every time on these big cliffs. That's why I like it, man. It's scary. And then you overcome that fear. And that is a cool feeling. That is a crazy feeling that I can't describe to other people. It's like skydiving, other crazy sports. Like, it's sick. But like when you jump off a 70-foot cliff and you do a trick you're scared of, and you stomp it like nothing, like it, and it's just like nothing ever happened, and you come up and you're like, bro, that is the craziest feeling that no drug can give you that feeling.
Bro, you're reminding me of the Washington Cliff Cruise when Brandon, there was like a double gainer train off this waterfall, and Brandon has just hyped me up like a month before to do my first double backflip on a rope swing. So that was like my, getting used to the double rotations. And there was like 5-6 people that jump and do most of them all their first double gainers. And then Brandon went, and I was just like, I gotta do it. I gotta go. I walked over there, and everyone starts hyping me up, and like, dude, just threw the double, stomped it, got out of the water. All the boys are in the water hyping it up. Dude, there's nothing like that, bro. It's just
one of the best moments of your life, right?
Dude, it really was. I'll never forget that moment, and the feeling of bringing it around for the second time, and then just.
And most of those guys you probably just met. Yeah. And now you're like brothers, because you went through that together. You're like, bro, we double gainer that. We faced that fear. Yeah, that's the coolest part, is most of my friends recently that we've been, traveling and jumping together for only like a year or two. We're so close because we've gone into the mountains and done these crazy missions together and come back alive. And it's like, man, like, I'll tell those stories to my grandkids.
Right. you document a lot of this stuff? Like, you filming every time you go out, or
no,
you just doing just for the special stuff?
Just for the special stuff. I mean, I like to film, but I also have to have a balance, because I am around a lot of YouTubers that they film everything and they take the fun out of it because they're so consumed with like, all right, what's the next storyline? Where am I going to get this next angle from? And they don't enjoy the present of like being there. And I don't want to sacrifice, even though I am an influencer and I make videos, I don't ever want to like compromise the fun of going out and jumping. And so I really don't make that many YouTube videos because I just like being there in the present. And then if I'm about to do something crazy, then I'll get some iPhone shots, or if there's someone else filming, great. And now for my Costa Rica trips, I have a filmer that comes out and films the whole thing. So I don't have to worry about that stuff. But yeah, man, I like being present, but it is really cool when you do take the time, like, no, I do want to get this shot, and you do it and you stomp it and you can look back. You're like, I'm really glad that I got this footage. And I love making edits. I love putting together a little, man, remember that one time I can play the edit and it's like, man, we did that. Like that was such a crazy day. And that is cool. And I think that's the coolest part about social media is like being able to document that and then share it with other people and then inspire other people. Like, bro, that's cool. Being able to truly inspire other people to be like, whoa, there's people out here actually like doing what they love and getting outside and facing their fears. Like that makes me want to get up out of my bed and go work out or get outside or go hike or practice flips or just face my fears in general. Like I talk
about it all the time, how applicable it is to business. Is like, if you can overcome your fear, and like action sports is such a direct way to be able to do that. You can overcome your fears. You can literally apply that in the world of business and step away from your job to go pursue something that you really want to pursue. And being able to build up that fear tolerance, which you can absolutely build through action sports, through cliff jumping, whatever your sport really is, it's so helpful for the rest of your life. You don't have to be a prisoner of your own fear, a prisoner of your own anxiety. You can use these things to practice building that up and realize like, oh yeah, I can send it on things that are scary and I'm going to be all right. Love that stuff,
and prepare, you prepare your way up to a certain jump. And so you learn to, okay, what are the steps I need to get to this? Okay, I'm going to work my way up. That's why I try to show people that, because there are some reckless people in the community that just are more huck, less talent, which I respect, because there are a lot of kids that are insane flippers that don't have the balls to jump off a cliff. And it's like, man, you'd be so dialed. Like, so there's a good balance of like, for me though, I'm a wussy, bro. Really? to be completely honest, like I don't do things unless I'm certain I'm gonna land it. Where I have other buddies that are like, screw it, like let's see what happens. Nah, not me. I need to like really prepare. And what you don't see on the videos is me like sitting there for 30 minutes sometimes, like going through this trick in my head, visualizing it, throwing some rocks, like really feeling it. And I'm not gonna do a jump unless I'm ready. Whereas
you do wait for 30 minutes or you won't?
Sometimes I will.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll wait for an hour. Do you remember that one jump I did recently in Mount Shasta where I did the crazy gap over the fence, over that waterfall?
Yeah.
That took me, the day before that, I visualized it for an hour and then I didn't do it that day. And then I went back the next day and visualized it for another hour, walking back and forth, Jeez, literally being like, yo, I'm about to go. Oh, no, hold on. Like literally going back and forth, just like visualizing it. And then finally I was like, all right, we're ready. Let's go. And I had like 5 homies that sitting there like waiting for me because they knew I was going to do it. But they were also like, waiting for me just to like be ready.
So do you have that same mindset? Like when you're hyping up somebody to go for something, I'm assuming you are, where you're not ever hyping somebody up to do something unless you feel 100% confident in them. Have you ever had somewhere where you're like, you got this, and someone went and they didn't have it? Have you ever had that?
I mean, yeah, there's been some mess ups, but I've also like talked people out of jumps sometimes where I'm like, where they're like really scared. I'm like, bro, like go down there and prep it one more time. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, yeah, you're right. And I go down and prep it, and then they go back up and stomp it. It's like, because they're just so scared. It's like, bro, if you're really this scared, like make sure you go have it and then come back up to the big cliff and do it. There's also times I talk people into doing a trick that they're insanely scared to do, but I know they're ready for it. I've seen them, bro. You're so ready for this. And then they do it, and it's like the best moment of their life. And that's what I love. I love I love encouraging people to push themselves to their abilities and find their limits. But I'll never, especially on a big cliff, I'll never tell someone to do something if I don't think they can do it. And I'll be honest with them. Most people won't. Most people will be like, yeah, like
they kind of want to see the carnage.
They kind of want to see the carnage. I do not, bro. Because I want people to enjoy cliff jumping. I want people to be excited and be safe about it. And so on my retreats, I teach these people, like, first day when they come in, I tell them, like, hey, it's way cooler if I see you prepare and work your way up for a big jump than just to go try the craziest thing and try to impress me.
That's dope.
I want to see you guys like prepare and work your way up.
Make preparing the cool part. It's awesome, dude. I
want people to be safe and enjoy it, because you can have fun and work your way up and be safe and still have a lot of fun and be cool, you know? Like, I don't know.
Bro, what's the gnarliest trick that you have in the bag right now? What's the craziest one you've done, in your opinion?
My favorite one is a triple where I do a front flip and then a front flip 540 and a back flip. It's front Rudy back. I did that over a big gap in Costa Rica.
How high of a cliff are you
70
doing?
70 feet with a big gap. No, I'd rather go higher for that trick, but really? I was feeling it that day. I've also done that quad back from No Hands Bridge, Thug It Out Bridge, and then quad gainer from 90 feet. And now I have this trick in my brain that I really want to do, my next quad, that I cannot wait to do.
What is it?
So it's just a style of trick that no one does. And that's the thing about my tricks. No one does them the way I do them. Mm-hmm. Like, now people will then copy them.
Start, yeah.
Like, oh, that's a sick style. I want to do that. But like, I invented the tuck lay for triple backflip. Go up, like tuck the first one and then lay. And then now a bunch of kids are doing them, and it's really cool. And I did for my first quad, I did tuck lay. Because that's the style that I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to see it. Now for my triple side flips, I kind of do like a dub side backflip layout. Okay. Now I want to go up to like 80 or 90 feet and do double side, double lay.
Okay.
Bro.
So like, yeah, just change it from a double side to a double backflip. It'd be really cool.
Where are you going to throw that at?
I don't know, bro. There's a cool spot in Hawaii I could do it.
Tell me something badass from Hawaii, dude. You're a good storyteller, bro.
You think?
Yeah, I really do. I really do think you are.
Wow, that's actually the first time I've ever been told that. I think I get that from my grandfather. He's a good storyteller. I miss that dude. I wish he knew what I was up to, because he knew me when I was the kid that would go on a zip line and then come back down crying because I couldn't do it.
Wow.
It's come a long way.
If he knew what I was up to right now, bro, he wouldn't believe it.
I have a feeling he probably knows.
I don't know. He wasn't a believer. He believed in God, but he wasn't. The sad part is he wasn't. I don't know where he was in his last moments, but like, I'm very confident that my dad's side, they were believers and they were Jesus followers and they're spending eternity in heaven. But this other grandfather, I'm not sure. That's the sad part. Is that's the thing, is like, that's why I told you, whenever my grandparents died, my eyes really opened, because my dad's side of the family were very humble, didn't have a ton of money, but they were married for 70 years and had this whole family, and every Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter, and we were there. Mm-hmm. My mom's side, super wealthy, but the family was all screwed up and they weren't, and it's like, okay, you had all this money, but like, you didn't have this family. And my dad's side, they didn't have much money, but they were so wealthy and rich because they had family. And like, they were great grandparents, and they were always with my grandfather came to every one of my sporting events growing up. That was really cool. I was like, I want to be that type of grandparent. I don't care if, a lot of people, they sacrifice their family life and their relationships for their success. And at that time I was chasing money. Then I realized, like, whoa, like, I need to set my priorities in check and do the things that I love. But yeah, I really wish my grandfather knew what I was up to right now, because he'd have a kick at it. That's cool. I've never heard that I'm a good storyteller.
There you are, bro.
But Hawaii, I got some good stories from Hawaii. I don't know. What do you want to hear? Like, is there anything?
Let's hear. You talked about when you almost freaking died at China Walls.
China Walls, which is just the smallest little wave. I got I timed the wave poorly, jumped in it, and it just took me down. And I was just like holding, like hoping I wasn't gonna hit the reef, bro. Popped up 150 yards. No one even knew that I was like in trouble because they saw me jump 40 times before that.
I think that's the best part.
Yeah, they just...
You're just underwater struggling and no one's looking for you.
No one knew.
Just assume you were good.
Mm-hmm. But my favorite stories are just like the random side missions that I'd go on in Hawaii, because the past 3 years of living out there, I've just been couch surfing. So like not really knowing where I'm going to be sleeping the next day, who I'm going to meet, where I'm going to go. And then I would just meet people, bro. And they'd be like, yo, like come to this island. I'll show you a spot. Or come here. And then I'd meet people, meet locals. And
what islands have you been to?
I've been to Oahu, Kauai, Big Island, Maui, Lanai. Lanai was crazy. Lanai was nuts because I brought Ryan out to Hawaii. Okay.
Ryan Bean.
If you guys don't know who Ryan Bean is, you live under a rock. Do you know who Ryan Bean is?
I actually don't.
He lives under a rock. No. Ryan's
action sports athlete
in the world.
Potentially of all time.
Okay. He's the best cliff jumper in the world, hands down. He's who helped me progress on a different level when I started hanging out with him.
Yeah.
Right. Because I have this mentality of like being the worst in the room. I always want to be with people that are better than me, because that's how you grow. That's how you get exposed. That's how you learn. That's how you're forced to grow. Anyway, me and Ryan are on Oahu. We're both super sick one night. We go eat Taco Tuesday and we're both super sick. And we're eating with this group of people. And we're like, bro, like we just need to find it. We don't even know where we're sleeping tonight. We just have our backpacks on us. And one of my friends is like, yo, to these two girls, can they crash on your couch? And they're like, yeah, you can crash on our couch. I'm like, can we go now while you guys are eating? And she's like, yeah, sure. Here's the address. This is actually a funny little runoff story, but so she gave us her address of her home. So me and Ryan got dropped off at this address. We're like, okay, I think this is the house. And in Hawaii, there's a lot of like subleases where there's a bunch of roommates that live in houses, you know?
Yeah.
So we open this door. She said there's gonna be a couch. We open this door and we hear people upstairs, but the bottom floor, there's no one there. There's a couch. There's actually 2 couches and a fridge and a restroom. So we go in, put our stuff down. We hear people upstairs. Oh, it must be their roommates or whatever. And we get on the couch, we use their Brita, we take a shower, we get on the couch, and we're so sick. So we just like are falling asleep. 20 minutes later, my phone rings. It's the girl, Elle. Hey, like, where you at? I'm like, well, we're on your couch, we're going to bed. I'm on my couch, you're not here. I sit up so fast, bro. I'm like,
this is some random person's house.
What do you mean? I'm like, Ryan, get up, bro. We got to go. What? Bro, we're in the wrong house. We get up. And then, but cool, she let me and Ryan sleep in her bed, and then she slept in her roommate's bed. We'd never met this girl, bro. First night meeting her, she's letting us sleep in her bed. Like, just the coolest girl. So then we end up going to Maui and all this. And I run into her in Maui. And there's this island called Lanai. Okay, have you heard of it or no?
Vaguely.
It's like this island you can't really get to. It's a crazy island, bro. There's 2 Four Seasons on it. It's owned by this billionaire. There's like a small percentage of locals that live there. Anyway, she's like, yo, I had just seen Chase Reinford cliff jump there. And I was like, I want to go to that spot. I don't know how I would ever get there, but that'd be really cool. I found out it was on Lanai a week before that. And she told me, she goes, yo, we're going to sail to Lanai. You want to come? Yeah, I want to come. So we sailed to Lanai. We stayed at the Four Seasons for a week. And there's only 2 restaurants on Lanai. Okay. There's the Nobu and then there's the bar and grill in town. And the first night we go to the beach and I meet the chefs of the Nobu. And I'm like talking to them and I'm like, yo, I want to get to this cliff jumping spot. And they're like, yo, we could take you. And this one guy, he's like, I have a boat. If you meet me here at 5:30 in the morning on the dock, we'll take you around. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, tomorrow we'll go. And so I have to figure out a way to get down to this dock because I don't have a car. It's an island. It's still like decently big. So I mission down to the spot in the morning. Hopefully he's there. Yeah. And he was there. He took me around the island to this sacred cliff jumping spot. It's actually the first known cliff jumping spot in the world. The king that used to live there used to make his warriors jump off to prove their loyalty. But just like being at that spot by myself, made it out there. And it was just like, whoa, like we really do have free will. You know, like really free will is so cool. We can just do things. And like I was telling him earlier, like this life is for doers, you know, A lot of people dream and have ideas, but the people that get out and just do things and just take risks, you learn from your mistakes. Failures are often not failures. They're just opportunities to learn.
I agree with that. I think the biggest failure you could have is just to never even try.
And having the what if mindset, like, man, what if I really tried that?
Yeah.
What if I just put all my effort into what I was doing and I didn't half-ass it? Sometimes I think about that with golf. What if I actually tried to be a professional golfer and took that seriously? Where would I be? But then I'm like, but then I wouldn't be here, and then I wouldn't have these experiences, and then I wouldn't be able to impact these other people the way I am. You know, God has a reason for everything, and he allowed me to go through these worldly things where I learned and failed and screwed up and made so many mistakes, so that now I can impact and connect with a group of people that I wouldn't really be able to connect with otherwise. But it's like I went through these things, so now I can relate to these people. And God uses our brokenness and our failures to then, like, that's our superpower. The things that make us different and set us apart. Because we grow up trying to fit in, right? And in school, like, we're trying our best to, like, fit in with the crowd. Be liked. The things that make us different, we're trying to hide those things and just fit in. Mm-hmm. And then the quicker we learned as we got older that standing out is way better than fitting in, it's like our world just, like, opened. And once I realized, like, dude, like, in this world, you want to stand out. Like, you don't want to be a copy of someone else. You want to be yourself. You want to be original. When you stand out, that's what sets you apart in business world and relationships, when you stand out. And so God gives us these unique gifts that make us stand out, that are, like, only, you know, they're super unique to us. And once we hone in on those and embrace those and don't try to hide those and dim those lights, it's like, then we find our purpose, right? Because God gives us these gifts for a purpose, to glorify him. And he gives us these things for us to use. But whenever we don't use those, then we shut out our purpose. And that's scary, because I was close to not finding my purpose.
If you were to describe your purpose, what would you say it is?
I love encouraging people. And my purpose is to serve. I think all our purposes are to serve others. And I can do that through encouraging and by uplifting people and picking them up and going through things by myself and then saying, look, I've been through this. This is how you do it. You know, and now I can do that through my retreats in Costa Rica, where I bring out people, and I lived out there. I know the whole spiel. I know the waterfalls. My friend owns a hotel. We have a cold plunge and sauna out there now. And I bring people out here and I take them to my favorite waterfalls and I coach them up if they want to learn tricks, or if they want to, there's some people out there that know who God is, but they don't know who Jesus is. And it's an opportunity for me to share my faith and show them, like, how to do devotionals, how prayer works.
That's all part of your program? You integrate that in?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought it was just pretty much cliff jumping. And
it's Popoff adventures. So they come live my lifestyle. That's what it is. I don't change anything up. So I don't say, like, hey, we're doing a devotional, everyone be here in the morning. Mm-hmm. I just let them know, like, hey, like, I start my mornings with a cold plunge sauna workout, and I'll be doing a devotional if you guys want to join. And then also throughout the week, it's cool because I don't set time to, like, hey, we're going to do one-on-ones and talk to everyone. But throughout the week, I find myself one-on-one with everyone. Some people it's during the day. A couple of the kids, it's late at night because they're night owls, and it's like 2 a.m. and they stayed up by the pool, and I go down and I have, like, the most insane in-depth conversations with them about where they are. And I can connect with them because they're like, Reagan, you probably wouldn't get it, but, like, man, I'm dealing with, like, all this lust and all this. And I'm like, bro, I go through the same thing. Like, and it's just so cool. Like, the struggles that I go through allow me to connect with others that are going through the exact same thing. And that's what the Lord uses us for. But we have to be vulnerable and be confident and rooted in ourselves. And because I know that Jesus saves and that he saved me, even though I'm broken, it's like, I'm confident to use these things that are my weaknesses for my strength, right? My weaknesses are able to help other people. And that is my ultimate strength, is once we find that confidence in him. But it's cool, man. And yeah, I do integrate it. It's not like I don't force Jesus on anyone.
Yeah.
Because that's the last thing I want to do. And I feel like a lot of people do that.
I definitely, I can relate to that. Cause like, and I get why, like I was telling you last night, like I get why people want to push it so much, because like when you really have felt it, it is hard to keep it.
It's hard to contain it.
But there's a balance to it where you're really going to be like, I feel like if you can find that good balance of like real human connection and have this splashed in at the right timing, that's what's going to allow you to be the most effective.
The bad part is people proclaim it, but they don't live it. And then it needs to be the opposite. It needs to be you live it.
Focus on living.
When you live it, then people say, hey, what's going on? What's different? There's something different about you. You always are a positive attitude, and you always love the people around you, even though they don't really love you. Why is that? Or why do you have this peace? It feels like you have this peace and things are going on in your life, but somehow you still, it's like, well, man, like I have Jesus, and like I don't worry about these worldly things and this and that. But when you live it, bro, that's the prime example. And that's what Jesus did. Yes, he proclaimed it, but he lived it first. And he was able to proclaim it because he came to this earth and lived it. And he did the damn thing, you know?
He did.
And he showed us that you can do it. He didn't give us these things and say, do this, without first going and doing it himself to prove that you can do it. That's the thing. He came to this earth and he lived it first. And he said, look, you can do this because I did it. And I came here to live it and humbled myself, came and took on human form and served and suffered. That's what life is. It's full of suffering. But Jesus came and he suffered and he had joy. And he says, look, I'll suffer with you.
He shared the human experience and then went and told and proclaimed what's so great about it. But he, like you say, he lived it, he shared it, he experienced it. But then in sharing his experience, he can invite others to come onto his experience as
well. He says, look, there's another way.
Yeah.
Braden, how's your relationship with Jesus? Do you pray?
I do not regularly. No, I have I'd say a unique relationship. I think we all do. But growing up, I was brought up in the LDS church. And so I have an understanding that side of things as far as who Jesus was. But growing up in Utah, I never really felt a connection through church. And
it was more like religion.
It was more forced.
Yeah, it was forced. It was very formal. It was very structured. And that's not my relationship with God. And, you know, the more I've grown up and kind of come into an adult, into who I am, I've developed a different kind of relationship where it's more just sharing experiences with people. And in those experiences, I can feel the presence of God, and I can just feel a little bit now, but it's like that reverence, that feeling of just like, there's someone there, there's something else there. There's a comfort. It's a confidence. It's a peace.
Yeah.
And I should pray more, first of all, but
we all should,
right?
I'm broken. I screw things up every day. Even though I try to live like Jesus, I'm so far from it.
We should pray right now.
Say a quick prayer.
I'll do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll say a prayer. I'll go for it. Why not? You know, dear God, thank you for this opportunity to share our life's experiences with others and to get to know each other. And thank you for the opportunity to be sat next to these two amazing humans. And thank you for just providing the life in the future that is to come and giving us the opportunity to help other people and allow us to continue to develop ourselves and grow as human beings. And thank you. Say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. That's perfect, man. That's how you pray right there. Is giving thanks. That's what prayer is, bro. It's showing gratitude. And when you live in this mindset of thankfulness and gratitude, that's what brings you peace, right? But when you focus on the things that are worrying and this and that, but that's what prayer is, bro. It's like, first of all, you just show thanks. Thank you, Lord, for where I am. Thank you for my able body. Thank you for allowing me to be in this position. Thank you for these beautiful friends that I can share this with. And then the Lord knows what's on your heart, right? There's a lot of people that throw up these huge lofty prayers. They want to sound all righteous and stuff. The Lord says, don't be like the hypocrites. Don't throw up these lofty prayers. The Lord knows what's in your heart. Just talk to him like he's your friend. Mm-hmm. And he is your friend.
Might as well talk to him like it.
He knows what's on your heart. And so like, that's the way you should pray, is just And
Grateful.
also Jesus came, by the way, there's so much religion, and people always ask me, oh, you're so religious, aren't you? I'm really not. In fact,
Did you say spiritual?
Yes, Jesus didn't teach religion. Jesus taught that I am the way. He actually came to debunk religion. And the religious leaders are the ones that killed him. He came to the religious leaders that were he called them hypocrites to their faces. Yeah. He says, you guys are all righteous and you're praying in front of people on the street corners and all this. You're fasting to make it look like you're fasting. And then he was hanging around with the sinners, the broken sinners. And then the Pharisees were like, if you're God, why are you hanging out with these horrible people? He's like, the sick need a doctor. Like, I came for the people that are broken, that own they're broken and know they need a savior. That's who I came for. Jesus did not teach religion. He came to debunk all of that. And so, like, I don't consider myself religious. I just try to follow Jesus and what he taught. And that's in the New Testament, right? He came, he lived it, and he proclaimed that he was God and that he was the way. And all these other religions, like, Buddhism and Hinduism and all these things, they all say that, there's multiple ways. Jesus is one of the ways. He was one of the greatest teachers to ever live. He's one of the ways, but we're one of the ways too. And all these religions say, oh, like, there's multiple ways. We're one of the ways, but they all say, like, you have to work to get to it. Jesus is it's the only person that came and said, you can't work to get to it. No matter how much work you do, you cannot get to heaven by works. It's just by faith and by grace, and just knowing that, like, we are so dependent on God that we can't earn our way to him. He has to come down to us, and we have to accept it. Where every other religion's like, you have to earn your way. Bro, you cannot earn your way to heaven. We are so broken. We're so sinful. We deserve death. All of us. Even if it's just, like, he talks about hating someone is just as bad as killing someone. Like, in God's eyes, that's the same sin. And
hating somebody and killing someone, huh?
And lust and adultery is the same thing. If you look at a woman with lust, it's the same as committing adultery.
We're all screwed then.
We're all screwed, bro.
I'm screwed.
All of us,
sure.
all of us deserve death, bro.
Dude.
But Jesus came and he lived a perfect life and took it for all of us. And his last words on the cross, you know what they were? He said, he looked around and there's these soldiers that are laughing and mocking him and dividing up his clothes and gambling over it. And they're laughing as Jesus is suffering. And Jesus looks at him and he says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's love, bro. And they know exactly what they're doing, bro. They just nailed him to the cross. They're laughing. They know exactly what they're doing, bro. But he says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's love, bro.
Bro, that's beautiful.
And that's the greatest story I ever told. I don't know a better story than that. And that happened. That's true. And that is the most important and just greatest story. And that makes me love him even more and more and more. And it's like, I can't even fathom that type of love and so he took that. He said, Lord, forgive them, forgive all of these. He knew what we were going to be doing, the sinful lives. And he's like, Lord, forgive them. They don't know what they do. I want them to have this relationship with you, God. So take me, let me be the sacrifice. Let me be the perfect sacrifice. And let me pay this penalty so that anyone who believes in me can then have eternal life with you again. Because that's what we were designed for. We were created to have this. Adam walked with God, in the beginning, and then sin came, and then he was separated. And then there was death and sin and all these things and tons of war. The Old Testament's crazy, bro. You read through all these famines and wars, and it's gnarly, some crazy stories. But then Jesus came and he overcame that. And so now we have the ability to then be reconnected with God, which is the way we're created. We were created with a soul. Whenever we turn our own ways and live selfishly, we lose that soul because we're not connected with God anymore. And then when you lose that soul, that's where hell is. And that's where death is. Because when you're not connected to your soul, you die. Your soul lives on, your flesh dies though. And that's why our flesh doesn't want us. That's why our flesh and spirit are always fighting, by the way. It's because our flesh doesn't live forever. It doesn't get to go to eternity. So it doesn't want us. Like it wants the things of the flesh, but you can't serve the flesh and the spirit. And the spirit, if you dig into that, that's what has eternal life with our soul, with God. And so it's a constant war between our flesh and our spirit. Constant, bro. Constant battle. Especially as you're getting into your faith and you're trying to follow Jesus, bro, the devil's going to come after you.
I've been feeling that, dude.
The devil's going to come after you. As
I've been diving in deeper and surrounding myself with more people such as yourself, man, I can feel it. Like, crazy stuff going on.
It's because you're going head on. You're not going to, if you feel resistance from the devil, that's actually a good thing. Because that means you're going a different way. Because if you don't feel resistance from the devil, that means you're probably going the same way as him. He doesn't have to worry about messing with your life because you're already on the road to death. He doesn't have to worry about it. He doesn't have to interfere. And
bro, I wanted to circle back really quick on gratitude. Your uncle, so part of the program, we're both in this men's group called The Other Day. Part of the men's group is this gratitude list. So you make a list. You're supposed to do it every day. I do it not every day, but make a list of 3 things you're grateful for. You're supposed to put it in the group chat every day.
Every morning.
So we get so many texts of all these things that are grateful. The biggest thing that I realized is being grateful and being in a state of gratitude is like an acquired skill, right? Like you can say you're grateful just like you can do anything else and you can kind of get it. But like when you're just drilling it, like when I've gone through periods where, you know, I am sending a gratitude list for maybe a few months at a time, every single day, bro, it's insane how good at being grateful I can get. I can just get so specific and like really feel the gratitude settle into me hardcore, like feel super grateful for everything. Do you send those ever, or you?
I don't do them regularly, but I had for a while.
Bro, that's like one of the biggest things I need to get back into doing. Cause I remember on like some serious hot streaks of gratitude lists, writing 3 things you're grateful for every day, programming your mind to think in that direction of what's something good going on right now? What can I be grateful for? And finding any little detail to do it, your mind just gets so good at sitting in that.
It allows you kind of to look for the good in the life as well. And like when you're in the fire, when it is kind of going to shit, you're still looking for the good in it, and it helps you kind of see the light of day on the other side.
Helps you have peace.
Helps you have peace with it. It helps you see that there is growth here and there's something to come from it that is good for you.
And a lot of people treat God as a genie. They come to him in prayer whenever they want something. And when you come to God with thankfulness and appreciation of what he's already given you, why would God bless you with more if you're not appreciative of what you already have? Right? You have an able body, you have enough money to support yourself, you have friends in your life, you have a car, but you're not using it. Lord, I want a plane. Okay, but first, be grateful for what you have right now and use it wisely and be appreciative of it, and then I'll bless you with the plane. But I'm not going to bless you with the plane if you're just like, you have all these things and you're not going to use what I've already given you and be grateful for it right now. And I'm just using you as an example because we were talking about that. But yeah, in my own life, it's like, God, I want money. I want to be able to support myself. And it's like, but Reagan, you have an able body. You have all these friends that love you and care for you. And you have parents that love you and support you. And you have these opportunities with competitions. And like, I'm like, you are blessed, Reagan. And I have to realize that. And then whenever you are okay with where you're at, and you're like, man, I have it good. And you use what God's giving you, then he'll bless you with more, because he's not going to bless you with more if you're not appreciative of what you have already. So just being in that constant, and that's what prayer is, bro. It's just thankfulness. Like that's how you're supposed to start every prayer, is by lifting him up and saying, Lord, like, thank you for where I am today. And thank you for the people around me. Thank you for the opportunity to just be alive today. Like think about how grateful, bro, there's a lot of people that don't wake up every morning and we get another chance. And I think that the Lord, by the way, the sun isn't just aimlessly going. The Lord commands the sun to rise and he commands the sun to set. So when he commands that sun to rise, it's just like, thank you, Lord, for another beautiful day, another gift
on this earth.
it's so amazing. We're living, bro. I told you earlier, my dad, he just showed me how to live. He never really told me. He never forced me to go to church. He never forced me to read my Bible. He just showed me. He showed me by him doing it and by the way he treated my mom and other things, like what it is to be a godly man. And
your dad, he's
70.
70 years old. That's got to be so wild, dude. He's as old as my grandpa. My grandpa's right around there.
Wow. Yeah.
It's got to be cool having somebody that wise.
Yeah.
Experience.
He is wise, man.
Your dad.
I can always come to him he gives me the best advice, bro.
How often do you talk to him?
Not as often as you would think. I don't talk to my parents every day. Because, bro, back then, whenever he left his house, he went and started working and traveling, and he would talk to his family, once or twice a year. And then they come back. And I think he also wants that for me. He wants me to go experience life and then come back in when he's there when I need him,
Say everything in person.
Yeah, he's there when I need him. And they follow me on Instagram. They know what I'm up to, But I don't need to keep in touch with them every single day. I should. They're getting old, so I try to whenever I'm back in town, I go see them and have dinner with them and
they live in Texas.
Spend time with them. Yeah, and they're getting old, but yeah, I don't talk to them as much as I probably should. But I also just want to go live life for myself, and I don't know. I just feel like that's how they did it back then.
Yeah.
The kid, the young man would go off on their journey, especially in Bible times, bro.
You wouldn't hear from them for a long time.
A long time. They'd go figure out life by themselves. And my dad understands that. And I think he because my dad will never really hit me up. No.
It's always.
But if I need something, he's there, Yeah.
That's kind of how my dad is. My dad very rarely will call me. I call my dad and bug him all the time. Because there's sometimes there's exciting stuff. And I'm like, who the heck am I going to talk to about this? I need I just want somebody to listen to what's going on, So.
And he's on your side.
Yeah,
it's cool to have people on your team that just truly support you. Whereas friends nowadays, you don't even really know if they're actually excited for you or not, or if they're wishing on your downfall. And that sucks. I do have a few friends that I know support me and are there for me, but I've come to realize that there are people out there that actually don't want you to succeed, and they're secretly jealous, and jealousy sucks, bro. It really does. The most of sin is rooted in jealousy and pride.
You lost some friends on the come up?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And it sucks. It sucks because all I want is to be there for them. And it's but then I started my grind and yeah, man, it just sucks. It really does sometimes when your intentions are pure, but they don't see it that way. And then they just see you as oh, he's, I don't even know, bro. I don't know what their perspective is. I'm trying to do my own thing and support people and be there for the people that I love. And yeah, it's oh, he's famous on Instagram now and he's doing all. It's no, first of all, I'm not even famous. I have some followers. Cool. I have opportunities, but
that's quite a bit.
Yeah, but you know how many of those followers are actually active? 20, 30,000 of them,
What do you mean by active?
View my stories and actually see my content. Whereas the others are just, they followed once, they're not even on Instagram or something, Yeah,
it makes sense. Well, also you've kind of blown up somewhat recently, just within the last
couple years.
So that will just continue to grow with time, dude. Especially with all the stuff you do, everything you're out surrounded by, all the people, the mission that you're on. I know that your voice is only going to continue to grow. It's because you're using it for something so positive. It's literally the number one thing I admire about you the most is what you're doing with your voice.
Thank you, bro. That's encouraging.
Yeah, bro. I'm excited for you to keep running it up on these podcasts, and I can't wait to freaking come on your.
Whenever I add one, we'll be somewhere cool though, on a mountain, a campfire or something. Not in this. Now the studio's sick, bro. It only needs one thing.
What does it need?
I'll go grab it.
All right. A little new addition again here?
I don't know.
All right. We'll see what's going on here.
See what's going on, man.
Hey.
Dude, I freaking love this kid.
Dude, he's such a cool human, and
brings his Bible to the pod.
I love it. And his intentions, you can just feel it, are just so pure in the best way.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's go, dude. Put it wherever you want.
Wherever it belongs.
I think right here.
That's a dang good place, bro.
I love it.
Money.
Let's do it.
Let's go. That looks clean, bro.
Leave your mark right there.
That, brother.
All set now.
Thank you.
All right.
Now the studio is complete.
This place is actually really sick. Your whole house is really cool. I'm it's freaking dope. The whole setup you got. You got friends living here, working for you, and you got a gym, a studio, and
I love it here, man.
all the cars.
My sanctuary. You know, it's really only the beginning. I don't know if I've told you about my facility that I'm building over here on the property. Bro, wait till you come back when this thing's done. In November, I'm starting. I don't know the exact size of it yet. I got to see what I can afford, but I'm building giant warehouse, venue, facility, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to have my master bedroom over there, so I'm going to move over to that building. I have big garage space, all the cars stacked up, mechanic shop. In the back, I'm going to have a giant indoor freshwater pond, right? So there's going to be fish in there, and plants. And then there's going to be a garage door where the pond flows to the outside. There's going to be jumps from the top of the building into the pond. There's going to be indoor jumps. We're going to have like a roof hatch to open so you can jump from inside down into the pond. It's going to be...
Don't give a grown man money.
You really should.
You know,
I don't even know if I qualify as a grown man. Dude, I'm
just a
straight
kid.
child with this stuff. But I'm going to take out the biggest loan I possibly can and try and make the sickest playground so that I can just get more and more dope people out here.
Yeah.
And give them their space.
Attract them.
Yeah. We'll set up probably a whole new studio over there and just make it crazy. And
Where do you get a hat like this?
I got this in Japan.
Sick.
Yeah, I got this in Japan at a store. It was like branded as an American clothing store. Like, you know, because Japan, dude, nothing in there looked American. Nothing. It was all fake Japanese stuff. But it's like all the stuff's in English. That's where I got these pants. Like, bro, yeah, when I went to Japan, I had to get a whole new suitcase. Because it's just the amount of shopping that I was doing there. Like the style in Tokyo is just next level.
It's sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna always go to Japan once a year. Like I already have it set in my mind. That's an annual trip. Best place I've ever been to, and I'm always gonna bring an empty suitcase and just fill it up with clothes for my wardrobe for that year.
I gotta go.
Dude, you have to freaking go, bro. We gotta go.
It's on my short list. It's beautiful out there.
There's some dope cliff jumping.
I believe it.
Up on the northern island, Hokkaido. It was the last island to get added to Japan. Tons of nature up there. It's like a little bit more remote, not nearly anywhere near the amount of people that's on like whatever the main island's called. I can't remember where Tokyo's at and stuff like that. And there's some remote spots on that island too, but up on Hokkaido, bro, it's a whole different place. It's gorgeous, bro.
It's epic.
Yeah, you got to go out there. And the people are so nice, bro.
Respectful.
So respectful. Everything's so clean. You go into like a freaking train station bathroom where like in the US it would just be wrecked. It's like spotless. Like everyone cleans it. Like,
I heard you can like leave your bike untouched outside and no one's ever going to take it.
No, there's like no one worries about that type of stuff. I think the punishments are so strict with anything. It's just culturally embedded that you just don't do that stuff.
That's cool.
It's really cool, man. It's definitely an incredible, very, very special place.
Traveling is so eye-opening, bro.
It really is.
Going to different cultures.
Gives
and
you
just
a completely different perspective on life. You've done quite a bit. What countries have you been to?
I've been to Costa Rica and Guatemala. Then I went to Europe. I went to Norway and Spain and France and Sweden. But just like Europe, I didn't get to explore as much. Costa Rica, I got to live there. Guatemala, we got a cool little trip. But I got to go explore the world more, man.
You got anything coming up? You got anything? Any trip?
Just my Costa Rica trip. That's the only thing I have planned in July.
Dude, I really want to go to that. So you're going...
Come, bro.
Senderland on the 4th.
And I'm flying... I compete on the 5th, and I'm flying directly to my retreat, and I land with everyone. And the retreat starts.
That's dope, dude.
There you go.
And I'm doing 2 different weeks, though, so then there will be a week after that as well.
Yeah, I'm running with the Bulls in July. July's my birthday month, so I was going to go out and get a spot in Switzerland, do some base jumping, and then go run with the Bulls.
Epic.
But I got to look at the calendar, see it. Dude, if I can line it up, like am 100% down.
You would love it. You'd love it. Bring your lady. Like,
are you gonna do? So you've got the 2 in July. Are you gonna do any more
in December?
You can do one in December, dude. If I can't make the July one, I'll for sure throw it on the calendar for December.
Sick.
Every time I hear you talking about it, I'm like, dude, that sounds perfect. I want to go get better at cliff jumping.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go learn tricks, bro.
PSI.
Triple.
We'll get you a triple.
I've got dub front half, double backflip. I can do Sukaharas when I'm really feeling it. That's all I got.
We'll get you a triple.
I want a triple hope. My dream trick.
Triple hope, you need a high cliff for that. You want at least like 65 feet for that. That's 70 feet. Trick. That is like the one trick where it's like, if you throw that, like you're a certified cliff jumper. That's what I think is like, yeah. You know what I mean though? Like, certification. It's a little badge you come up
with that. You know how base jumper, there's like what is it?
Put on the takeoff. No, imagine.
There's in base jumping, there's we got to stick this.
It's like a card you have, right?
Decal. Yeah, I never applied for it, and I should have, because
that's actually a crazy idea.
Low base number, but like a base jumper is officially a base jumper when you jump a building, an antenna, a span, and an earth. That's the acronym that base stands for. Oh. So it's a registered log. Once you jump all 4 of those objects, you can submit for your base number.
So what would cliff jumping be?
Number.
Yeah, it'd be like,
what if you do
jump a waterfall? You gotta jump a bridge. A quarry.
That's sick.
A building.
So yeah, waterfall, bridge.
And this is just jump? They don't have to be any specific height.
Quarry.
Is there kind of like a regulation? It's got to be 25 feet.
It's got to be at least sizable. It's got to have some presence. It's got to scare you when you're standing looking over the edge.
Wait, so we said a waterfall, a bridge, a quarry, a building. What else? That's basically it, huh?
I'm trying to think what else people jump. I mean, they jump crane. There's all sorts of stuff. Like with base jumping, they just call it like an O.
A crane is like a bridge, I'd say. But yeah, I think those are the 4.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
Something that's kind of like a registered log of like, because cliff jumping, I think, is still somewhat in its infancy, right?
Yeah, but cliff jumping is so like, it's free and it's something anyone can do. Where base jumping is more just like, it's actually
it's a smaller group of people. But still, dude, like if someone's qualified to freaking give you like a little laminated card that says you're a cliff jumper, like, bro, it's you. You know what I mean? Like, you hit all these things, like graduation from Popoff Adventures. Here you go. You know, like send them all
like a course
to put on the wall,
dude. What? That's such a great idea. I'm gonna write that down, bro. Do you journal at all?
Yeah, not as much as I should, but I have a few journal. Bro, it's crazy, man. I have freaking PTSD from journaling. When I was a kid, I had a journal for like 4 years that I would write in every few weeks, every few months, sometimes days and days in a row. And bro, one day I came home and it was gone. And my mom took it. And she just gave it back to me like 2 weeks ago. And I haven't even opened it. Like, I've opened it, but I haven't like really gone back through it. And bro, to be honest, I've never really
wanted to
journal since then.
Dude, journaling changed my life.
How do you journal? What's your style? You just talk about what you did. You talk about what you want.
What I did, how my day was, my plans, notes. Like, have you ever read Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey?
Beautiful book.
Did you listen to it or read it?
I listened to it on audio.
You have to listen to it. Yeah.
It's so much better.
You have to listen to it.
Hear his voice.
It's I recommend 2 books, the Bible and Green Lights. Green Lights is like one of the greatest books I've ever read. But yeah, you have to listen to it because it's Matthew McConaughey telling his story and it's his life, but the way he puts emphasis on words and like, you just have to listen to it. You can't read the book. But I took a lot of notes from this book and I love sharing them, but like being able to write notes and look back and be like, man, that was so. But his main point in the book is to be less impressed, more involved. Okay. And that really hit home because I find myself in situations where, you know, I'm with these people that I would never thought I'd be with. I'm doing these things and I'm like impressed. Like, look where I am. Okay. I can't mess this up like I need. And it's like that, at that point, you're more impressed and you're less involved with what you're doing. And he goes on to talk about how we are all made for every moment that we encounter. Whether the moment makes us or we make the moment. Whether we're helpless in it or on top of it, the predator or the prey, we are made for that moment. When we let the moment become bigger than us, we are less involved in it and more impressed with it. Why does this happen? It happens because we mentally give a person, place, or point in time more credit than ourselves. We create a fictitious ceiling, a restriction over the expectations we have over our own performance in that moment. We get tense. We focus on the outcome instead of the activity, and we miss the doing of the deed. We either think that the world depends on the results, or it's too good to be true, but it doesn't and it isn't. It's not our right to believe it does or is. And he just like, bro, there's so many, there's so many things.
I love
this one too, bro.
Less impressed, more involved. I love that, dude.
And then he says how taking the road less traveled can make all the difference in the world. Okay. But the road less traveled is not necessarily the road with the least amount of traffic. It may be the road that you personally have traveled less. The introvert may need to get out of the house, engage with the world, get public, take some risks outside, network. The extrovert may need to stay home and read a book and journal and lock themselves in their house. And I find myself, bro, there's times where I'm in Hawaii and there's so many things going on that it's almost hard to stay inside because there's always people, yo, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Yeah. And there was a point where I had to lock myself in the apartment for 3 days and journal and fast. And I just I needed it. It was hard to do that, but it was a big commitment. And he says, sometimes we need to get out there. Sometimes we need to get in there. I like that, bro. And
would you say you're more extroverted?
I don't know. I think I'm
mixed, hybrid.
I like being by myself, bro. I'm very comfortable with being alone. And so I don't know. I think my environment makes me more extroverted. If I'm in the jungle in Costa Rica, then I can host people because I love where I am and I'm so passionate about what I'm doing and I love sharing that with people. But then also I like being by myself and I hate going out. I hate going out to bars and clubs. That's where I feel, it's funny. I don't feel alone when I'm alone. I feel more alone when I'm with a big group of people.
Big group of people that you don't necessarily connect with, vibe with.
Like when I'm out, that's when I feel, I think Mac Miller said it. And Zach Brown, he's like, that's where I feel most alone, when he's out. But like when I'm alone and I'm with my thoughts and I'm talking to God, I don't feel alone, bro. I feel so comforted and I feel like I have my friend with me. But then I'm like, dude, but I want to be with people. I want to share memories with people and I want to have this relationship with people, but I just don't like forcing things and I don't like forcing conversations. That's like my least favorite thing is when I'm with people and they don't know how to just have silence. It's like they have to fill every little awkward silence. Oh, so what was, bro, shut up. Like, let's just enjoy it. Let's listen to the birds and think. Yeah. But some people are like, even from the East Coast, they're so used to like having to like fill in because people always talk over them and stuff. They're so used to like always having to talk over people and fill things in. They just grew up without having silence. And so it's so uncomfortable for them. But then I have some friends where we won't talk the whole day and we'll be with each other, just enjoying each other's company and experiencing the same things. And then we'll talk, but we're not forcing any conversations. And that's what I like when I'm going on dates with girls and we can sit there and just like listen to music and not talk for 4 songs, but not feel awkward at all. It's like, yes.
It's like a natural, just peace.
It's like, yeah, we don't have to force anything. Like if there's nothing on your mind and you're just thinking, like, you don't have to say everything. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm an extrovert or introvert, but I like to think I'm an extroverted introvert.
Time and a place type of thing.
Yeah. Or who I'm with.
I'd agree with that. It's very circumstantial to where you are, right? Like when I'm with the buddies, with the boys hanging out, I'm like, yeah, I can be very extroverted. I like to talk and have a conversation. But for me, it's in those big environments. I'm like, ooh, I go inside and I feel kind of alone as well. I kind of dial it back a little bit. Yeah. And part of it is I'm just not comfortable in those spaces. But the other part of it is I am more on the introverted side in that environment. But then again, put me in somewhere like snowboarding on the mountain. My personality lights a fire. Like it's everywhere. I'm all over the place. I'm very out there and open, but it's kind of something you have to train yourself to be okay with as well, is to be okay to have that extroverted experience and like that loud personality in a way, but do it in a way that is still you.
And just be yourself. You remember that one part of Green Lights where he's in Africa?
Maybe.
And he gets chased. So he's in this tribe. He's with this tribe in the middle of Africa. And the warrior of the tribe challenges him to like a fighting match, like a big wrestling match. Because he's this big, strong white guy. Mm-hmm. But the warrior's like, I challenge you. And the whole village gets together for this match. And Matthew's thinking like, am I about to die in Africa? Like, this is crazy. Like, but then he says to himself, he's like, be wet shit.
Be wet shit.
Wet shit. Leave your scent. Wherever you go, leave your scent. Don't just conform to where you're at. Leave a mark. Be wet shit. Leave your scent. Mm-hmm. And so he accepted the challenge and he went, and they went 3 or 4 rounds wrestling. There was blood and sweat, and maybe Matthew was more bloody, but the warrior did not put him down. Like he didn't defeat him. Mm-hmm. And so to him, that was him losing. So the warrior, like the big guy, he ended up leaving, and the whole tribe was cheering for Matthew, picked him up. Oh my gosh. And Matthew's like, but I didn't even win. And the African chief says, Matthew, it is not about to win or lose. It is about, do you accept the challenge?
Oh, that's sick.
Be wet shit. Wherever you go, be wet shit, man. Like, leave your scent. Don't just conform to where you are. Like, be who you are. Like, wherever you go, leave a presence. Be like, man, like Dallas was here. I remember he was here. Where there's some people that go into a room and they leave and you would never even know that they were there. Or some people, they'll come up to me and we met and they're like, hey, bro, like, why didn't you follow me back on Instagram? It's like, bro, you barely even said a word to me. What was your name? Like, and I'm not even trying to be rude, but it's just like the people
genuine response,
leave, that are wet shit with me. Those are the people that I remember because they left a mark in my life. Or I meet tons of people all the time. It's like, were you wet shit? Did you leave your scent? You know? And it also comes to this, really cool, what's the word for it? Metaphor or whatever. There's 3 types of people in this world. Okay. There's eggs, carrots, and coffee. Okay. So let's say the world is boiling water. Okay. The coffee or the carrots, they're these hard things. When you put them in boiling water, what happens? They become soft. The eggs, they're these fragile beings, right? There's these fragile, when you put them in boiling water, they're hardened by life. So life, the circumstances of life is changing the carrot and the eggs. But when you put boiling water in coffee, the coffee changes the water. Wherever it goes, the coffee, that's how Jesus came and walked, bro. Wherever he came, he changed people around him. He didn't conform to what the world was doing around him. He came and lived, and he transformed lives wherever he went. And people remembered when Jesus was there, right? He was coffee. He wasn't conformed by the world's circumstances and by the tragedies and the hardness and the stress. He was wet shit. He left his scent. I love that analogy, bro. Like, to be coffee, be wet shit.
Dude, my mentor told me recently, because I mean, I would say that I'm more introverted, to be honest with you. Like, if I don't know someone, or if my people don't outnumber the unknown people, then I'll just like be quiet, right? And my mentor told me recently, like, take the risk. He used the word risk. And it connected with me a lot, because it's like, well, I can take a risk, you know? It's like, when I'm in those uncomfortable situations, speak up, say what's actually going on, say what's going on. So it's directly applicable to that. It's like, yeah, no, I actually do want to be remembered, and I actually do want people to follow me back who I like, you know, and want to stay connected with the people. And playing small, being afraid, and tucking myself away isn't going to be how that's going to take place. Mm-mm. I'm ready to freaking take that risk. And honestly, like, this podcast has been a huge step for, I feel like me and Braden, just freaking,
I would say so,
getting out here, like putting cameras in our face, putting mics in our face. And like, dude, the improvement just in the last couple pods, like crazy, bro. Like I remember the first one was just like, we were so nervous, and like my brother was the guest, but it was like, it was easy for me to talk to my brother, but I remember being in my head the whole time, like, okay, what's next? Like, oh, don't like, you know, and now it's like getting to the point where I'm just like, yeah, like whatever happens, like, I don't really care, you know,
just talking.
We're just shooting the shit. So I love that, dude. Be wet shit.
Be wet shit.
Right in line with take the risk from a social standpoint. Like
he also says about risks, he says, it is not a risk unless you can lose the fight. So like, truly, it's not really a risk unless you can lose something, unless you can fail.
It's true.
So then that mitigates, like, is this even a risk? Like, dude, I'm never going to see this person ever again. I might as well speak up and say something. Also, you know what's crazy? My life changed when I started talking to people on planes.
Really?
Changed forever.
Tell me about that.
Because, dude, the mindset of... One, I'm super, not anymore, but I still get anxious, but I'd be super socially anxious on planes to talk to people. Oh, they don't want to talk to me. Like, I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to talk to the person next to me.
Sitting there for hours. So
yeah.
like,
but think about it. The fact that you sat next to that person on a plane going to the same place is a crazy collision. Like the odds. Yeah. And I don't think it's a coincidence ever. And I've met some of the craziest people on planes. And when I talked to them and took that risk, also, I just started to like, when I started traveling, okay, if I feel nervous to do something, I'm just going to do it. And then I did it. And then like, oh, I met some of the coolest people in the world because I took the risk and started talking to them. And they were just like super cool people. And then, bro, if they don't want to talk to you, they'll just tell you, like, they'll tell you no. Yeah, they'll tell you no. And then you're never going to see that person ever again. But I've met some of the coolest people while I was being afraid to talk to them. And then I was like, you know what? It's not even talking to girls. It's not even going up to girls.
Just people.
People, bro. Or like someone you look up to, you're like, I want to go talk to that person. And then you do. That's being more involved, less impressed.
Yeah.
Go be involved, bro.
I love that.
Like, it's so applicable in life. And when you feel nervous to do something, go do it, bro. That's what I've come to realize.
Bro, your
in life.
It guides you.
It does, compass. Bro. It guides you, bro.
Your compass.
Dude, on the other side of fear is success. Like, step through it, face it, and go succeed.
And that feeling of accomplishing that when it's something scary is like, dude, and you just want to keep doing it.
You pull it off.
You just want to keep,
it worked.
You just want to keep doing it. And it's the most fulfilling feeling. But yeah, bro, start talking to people on planes because you really just never know who they are.
You're making me like think about the last few flights, and like a few flights ago, dude, I had one conversation with this guy that was like so dope. He was like, yeah, you know, I'm taking my motorcycle across Africa with my buddies, and like added him on Instagram and like, you know, stay in touch. And it's like, wow, how many of these freaking people have I been missing out on? It's like people who are jumping on planes or going places, like they're doing things with their life, like going to common locations as you, dude. Like on one of my recent flights, I was on the same flight as Jamie O'Brien.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was so stoked.
I saw that. I
was like,
you were psyched.
Normally I would just like be like, oh, I don't want to like bug him, you know. But I'm like literally a fan, and I was like, I got it.
Yeah,
I got
you're on the same flight.
I like said it nice and soft, and he's like, he looks over, and I was like, a picture? And he's like, yeah, dude. And I was like, yo.
I also think that's sick. Like, I like when there's a lot of people that I run into that I know they know who I am, and they act like they don't.
You like that?
No, I hate it. I like when, like, if I see someone that I admire and see their videos, I go up to them.
Yeah.
I give them their flowers. Yo, bro, I seen your videos. Like, it's super dope. I love what you do. Because I appreciate when people come do that to me. I'm like, dude, thanks. Like, that means a lot. And there's a lot of people that act like they don't even know who I am. And it's not even coming from an ego, like, oh, they know who I am. But like, I know from circumstances or mutual friends that they know who I am, or they've seen me, or they've even engaged with my content before.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, like, yeah, what's your name, bro? You know, it's like, it's just like, you know, it's like, bro, like, why be,
just come through,
why be,
the front door?
Yeah. Why be disingenuous? Like, you don't have to ride my dick or whatever, but you don't have to like be a fan. But bro, I'm fans of all my friends. Like my close friends, like Ryan and my other, I'm fans of them, bro. And like, I give them their flowers where it's due. And I think if you do that, like, it's just much more appreciative from, like, just be genuine, bro. And like, what's the point of language if you don't say what you mean?
Yeah.
just say what you mean, bro, and mean what you say. And say what you can do, and then do what you say. Matthew also said that too. He's say what you can do. Don't over leverage yourself. Say what you can do, and then do what you say.
I do that sometimes. I feel like I sign my. I'm like very optimistic with myself, right? And I would say majority of the time I'll figure it out, pull it off, but
which can be good.
Sometimes I bite off a little more than I can chew, and I'm like, yeah, no, we can do this. Like for sure, let's do it. You know, it's just like in my brain, I'm like, I really want to do it, and like I think it might probably work. So I'm like, if I even admit that it might not work, I'm like, that's just gonna lower my chances. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's important to have those like risky things where it's like, okay, maybe I'm not qualified for this, but I'm still just like going to give it a shot. And a lot of times that's where you grow. But I think with business or like with a person, it's like,
you have to be realistic.
You got to be realistic and say what you can do and then do what you say. I think that's just good advice, but I do think there are times where you have to take a risk.
You kind of have to be willing to fail in that stuff a little bit. Be willing to step out and say, yeah, I can do that. And I mean, you have to take the honesty of it that, hey, I might not succeed here, and it's different if it's like someone else's life on the line or someone else's accountability. You need to be honest with them if you can or can't. But there are things where you're like, hey, I can go do this. And if it fails, it fails. But I think I got this. So let's go do it.
That's kind of where I'm at with the Lambo, dude. I'm like, I really don't know if this thing's ever going to run. Like, I really don't know.
Took a big bite.
Blow it up. I really don't know. I'm like so scared we're going to like put it all together, drive down the street, and it's just going to catch on fire. It's like, fuck. But I tell myself and I tell Dart, I'm like, we got this, dude. Like, and he's like, yeah, we got this. And I'm like, I sure hope you got this.
Only one way to find out, bro.
Dude.
I think you instilled more confidence in him that he's got it than you think you've got it. I mean, you guys talked about it on the last podcast a little bit about it, and you boosted him up the whole time, and you could feel it. Like he feels confident that he can do it.
Yeah.
And not that he can do it, but he can learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a part of you instilling that confidence in him and being someone who he can look up to and respect. It's like, hey, dude, I have confidence that you can do this. And it just gave him the little bit extra where I can feel it when he was talking about it. He's like, I got this.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that one.
Dude, I'm so pumped for it. You got to come back out when it gets done.
Yeah, let me know.
I'm jump the cars to go for a drive.
I'll be there. I've been in a Lambo actually, but not like a small one like that. I've been in like the big ones.
Adult ones.
Yeah.
Doors go up.
No, like the...
Oh, the truck, the Urus. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Those.
Those don't count.
Yeah, those aren't as cool, I feel like.
SUV, I don't know.
Those aren't as
If you
cool.
had like the old OG Lambo truck, that's dope. But the Urus, I don't know. Doesn't quite do it for me.
This is a cool quote from Matthew as well from Green Lights. He says, okay, well, the story is when he's starting to get a lot more fame and he's got more money, and for the first time he has a maid. And the maid, he's with his girl, but he woke up and the maid had pressed his jeans. Do you remember this?
Vaguely.
He pressed his jeans and he's like, oh my gosh, the maid pressed my jeans. Like, this is the best day ever. Oh my gosh, like I've never had a maid press my jeans. This is so sick. And his girl is like, do you even want your jeans pressed? Hell yeah, I want my jeans pressed. Are you kidding me? Like, that's like, yeah. And then like over time, he started to realize like, wait, actually, I don't want my jeans pressed. Like, and then that's when he said bumper sticker, which is what he says in the book when he's like wants you to write something down. He says, when you can, ask yourself if you really want to before you do. Because a lot of times in life, you get to a point where you can do something, but then ask yourself, do you really want that? And that hit me home because there's a lot of times where all of a sudden I can do things, but it's like, do I really want this? Do I really want to have this obligation? Do I really want to so yeah, when you can, ask yourself if you really want it before.
Is that like some of those brand deals you were talking about?
Yeah.
You deal with Monster.
Yeah.
You can work with this big company and have the
that was easier to turn down for me than Danny.
Danny was hard.
That one was harder.
Because all your friends were doing it? Or just because you looked
Yeah, and he was like the YouTuber I looked up to.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. You know Danny Duncan?
Oh, yeah.
Me and a couple buddies went and filmed with him for 10 days, and then he offered us a sponsorship to be athletes for his new company.
Oh.
And that was tempting, bro, but I didn't align with his brand, and I wanted to build my own. Like, I started my own brand. My last name is Popoff. You know, like
literally his last name.
Oh yeah.
It's a verb. You know, and so cool. And I have a lot of aspirations of what I want to do with it. And I felt like I was kind of giving it up to go then pursue someone else's brand. And also the things that he values are not things I value. And I even posted one story clip of me wearing I Love Hot Moms shirt. And I posted it and I was like, I don't want people seeing me in this shirt. And that's like the least vulgar shirt he has, you know, like everything else is super. It's
just like kind of
profanity. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I really don't want to be involved in this. And bro, that was a time in my life where I was still addicted to nicotine, pornography, so in the world, so obsessed with views and likes. And I was going down this, I remember like having this clear moment with the Holy Spirit of thinking like, whoa. Where am I right now? Like if I go down this path, what type of person am I about to be? This is not what God created me to do. He created me with a purpose, and I'm not living up to that purpose right now. I'm chasing all these worldly pleasures. And I remember just thinking like, whoa, and the Holy Spirit then like really honed in on the logo, and it just looked like devil horns. And I was like, am I about to sell my soul? I remember being in his house. I was thinking like, I don't know if I should be doing this. What type of path am I going to go down? Like I could go down a really bad path if I accept this deal. So then I thought about it for a little while, and I went home for Christmas, and then I went to Costa Rica to go work for this company again to do waterfall tours. And like 2 weeks in, I get back from work one day, and this whole time I can't sleep about it, bro. I'm still like, no, I don't know what to do. I want to do it, but the Holy Spirit is not letting it sit right with me, which I'm very thankful for. And then I finally text him. I had the balls to finally text him and close the door. I remember I texted him and I put my phone down and I ran a mile to the gym where my friend owns a hotel. He lets me go work out at his little gym. And then he comes up to me. He says, Reagan, I have this idea to do these retreats. I really want you to be the first guy I do it with. Would you be down? I was like, yes, bro. Oh my gosh, yes, this is perfect. And it all clicked. And it was like the Lord was waiting for me to close this tempting door. He was waiting for me, though, to show faith, to show trust that, no, there's something more better for me. I closed that door, and immediately he opened another one. And I was like, wow.
Within like an hour?
Within an hour, bro. And he doesn't always work like that. But for that instance, it just showed, he's like, look, you showed faith. I'm telling you, I have a better plan for you. There's better. And then after that, I did that in Costa Rica for a couple months. I was still preparing for the retreat, came back home. Then Monster hit me up. I'm like, oh, shoot. But I immediately did not entertain that because I don't know if you're familiar with Monster, but it's a very demonic brand. The logo stands for 666. The motto is Unleash the Beast. It's just not something that I want to wear on my chest. And so I did not even entertain that. And I was like, nope, I'm doing this. These retreats, like, this is what the Lord has planned for me. And because of those 3 retreats I've done, bro, like, it's been one of the greatest things I've ever had the opportunity to do. And I've gotten to transform so many lives. And also my life has been transformed. And man, it's just like, it's so special. And the Lord's using me through that platform. But it almost didn't happen. It almost did not happen, bro. So close to where I just accepted that deal and would have done that. And none of this would have been happening. And
if he would have asked you, you'd have been like, oh, dude, like, I don't know. I already got this other stuff going on. Like, maybe you didn't take it as serious, but like, because you had you were in such an open position, that opportunity came up.
I was like, let's go. Let's do this. All in.
You're mentoring kids. You're setting the type of example that you are. Bro, it's only going to continue to grow. Like, I'm genuinely stoked to go on this freaking retreat.
You'll love it, bro. I'll show you a great time.
I've always wanted to go out to Costa Rica too. So it's like,
and this is the way to do it because I already know all the spots. I've already made the mistakes. I know the people. I know the spots.
And bro, I'm all about those trips where you can just show up. Don't have to plan anything, bro. Planning a trip is like a freaking part-time job. Like pre-trip, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I love going on the trips, like the trips that your uncle puts together, bro.
Oh yeah.
We just show up and it's just all ready to go.
He puts together trips?
White gloves.
Yeah, he's we are the day group. He calls them Lotuses, but retreats with 50 dudes.
I'm talking about the adventure trips.
Oh, the adventure trips? Those two.
Yeah.
Those are also, retreats. It's 40, 50 dudes and he plans everything. And yeah, they did running with the bulls. What was that, a year ago, 2 years ago now? 2
years ago.
They did
African trip.
Africa.
Whoa. You get on the flight And it's same thing. Picks you up, airport. Hey, we got another plane. We're flying here. Hey, get in this car. We're going to go on this safari. Dinner's at this time. Hotel, like for the whole week.
I bet that's like, expensive though.
You just show up and it's not cheap.
The best part about it though is it allows you to be present.
$9,000.
Was it
$8,000? Something like that.
How many days?
I think it was like 10 or 14. It was a lot.
And dude, the thing is like you're going with other people who have $8,000-9,000 to go. Dude, the networking is like pays for itself. I think. You know what I mean? That's how I financially justify it in my mind. I'm like, I'm making money on this trip.
That's also kind of the same mindset that I have on mine. Is like you're gonna meet a ton of really cool people, adventurous people, network, filmers, entrepreneurs, people that take the risk. People that come on these trips, they take risks.
Yeah.
They're doers. They're not just dreamers, they're doers.
Bro, and being surrounded by doers, like that's a cheat code right there.
Yeah, because most people don't have community. That's what I want to offer people is community. And that's cool to hear that your uncle does that, because that's like what the business I'm trying to get into is like hosting trips and bringing opportunity to people. And
you need to check this group out and like see see how it's structured.
I would love that.
Oh, There's like different tiers too. So I was thinking about it actually when you were talking about your masterclass. It could be like somewhat integrated in with that, where you've got like your monthly subscription to like Zoom calls where like, once a week or something like that, everybody gets on, talks about what trick are you struggling with? What's going on? Where are you at? And then you kind of like bounce ideas off, or you have like a coaching seminar. And then, he brings in guests on the calls where it'll be like, hey, this entrepreneur, this real estate guy, this relationship expert, he's going to talk to us for 30 minutes today. And it's like, sets up these weekly calls where you kind of get the community back together, and then we have our quarterly events, and then we have the optional retreats twice a year where it's like, or it's an adventure trip is what they call it. So, yeah, dude, you should definitely look at the structure. I'm sure you could learn from it. And bro, I'm like the more I've done this, I've been a part of the group 2 years now, bro. It artificially inflating your network like that, like we just talked about it, getting around the right people, like
it's everything.
It's everything.
Life is all about who you know.
It really is, bro. It's funny because like
it's all about who knows you.
I think what it's really about is what you do, right? If you do nothing and you don't really do stuff and you go try and meet people before you focus on yourself, then it doesn't have the same effect.
You're right.
But if you do
You're so right, bro.
Dope shit and you really are that guy, you really are working on whatever it is, and then you add a network on top of that, then it's game over.
You're so right, because people don't ever hand you things, right? In life, people are never going to hand you things unless you're getting after it. Then people want to hand you things. They see you're doing something, they're like, bro, I've been there. I can help them here. Because, bro, people just want to help. Okay. Naturally, we just want to be able to help others, but we don't want to hand people things if they're not doing something.
100%.
But when we see someone, that's why, like, when people see me traveling and doing, like, bro, come stay at my place. Like, I would love to, like, host you for a couple of nights. And then they tell me about some spots. They give me advice. And it was like, once I actually started doing something, then people started handing me things.
Absolutely. Bro, I have a saying that I came up with that it's not about your network, it's about your net work. Like the amount of work you actually do. When you're out there grinding, you're hustling, then you add a network on top of it. It literally is the cherry on top. But I have seen people, I've met a couple different people like this, where they're like, their job is the networker, right? Where they're going to clubs and they don't work. They just bump shoulders with all these people and they're always bumping shoulders. I'm like, none of these people are going to want to do any real project with you other than maybe go party, hang out, whatever. No one's going to actually dive deep on like something real that can change the game for you unless you are yourself putting in the work. That's my personal belief. I went through a period 100%. Where I was like, I think overly focused on networking and not as focused on myself and what I need to do. Once I made me like, okay, make sure you're solid, and then boom, stack the network on top of it. Then it was like, this is where it's at.
And there's other people that have all the work, but they don't have the personality to go out
and meet the people
and be kind. And
that's a big one.
It's a huge one, bro. Be kind and love others. And I don't like karma. I don't believe in karma. I don't think Because most people that believe in karma, they're doing good things to then reap the benefit back. I think you reap what you sow. In scripture, it says you will reap what you sow. You get out what you put in. But don't do things to get to reap, just do things out of love, to serve. And when you do that, people reciprocate that, and people show love. And it's really cool. I've experienced that as I've been traveling. You can get so far just by being kind, bro. And I don't be kind to get far. That's just the way my parents raised me, and I love Jesus, and I want to be kind to people. And if I have the opportunity to be kind, that's what I'm going to do. But being kind has got me through so many doors. Just like, whoa, like this dude's dope, but he's genuine, and like
being genuine, being real, being vulnerable, all those things, just people can feel it. People know if you're trying to get something out of it. They can just feel it, even if they don't consciously like recognize it. They're just like the kindness, if it's fake, whatever, trying to get something out of it, it just doesn't sit the same, right? When you're genuinely just like, yeah, here, like this is like me, like this is how I am. People really feel that, and it has a way bigger impact, and it actually means something, and people can just tell.
Yeah.
I feel like most people can just tell.
Definitely. You don't want to abuse people. Now, you do want to use people. I think using people is important. Not using has a negative connotation.
As a tool? What do you mean by that? Like,
if you're not useful
for their purpose,
what are you? You got to be useful.
Yeah. I love being useful.
You got to be useful. So you need to use people. In fact, people feel valued when they're used. You don't want to abuse. When you abuse someone, that you're taking things out of control, but you want to use people.
I love that.
You want to be useful, and you don't want to be useless, like.
I was just having this conversation with my buddy Makai, who was in Japan with me. And I'm like paying for all of his stuff voluntarily. You know what I mean? Like we go out to eat, like, yeah, I got it, bro. Like we, grab some snacks and some little trinkets. Yeah, throw it on here. Like, I got it, He's like, oh, I feel kind of bad. I'm like, no, dude, you've earned this. You have somebody that has the resources, that cares about you, that wants to do it. You have earned it in your own way. And it's like, that makes me feel good when I'm able to use what I have to be able to do something that makes a difference. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're hitting it right on the head as far as being useful. That makes people feel good. Mm-hmm. That makes people feel they're here for a reason, that they have a purpose. It makes it worth it for all the stress and the negative things that come with trying to be successful in business. When you can share it with other people, it makes it so much more worth it.
You got to use people. It just has a negative connotation.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if you look at it, yeah, because if use, people take it as abuse. But even like with our water retreats and stuff, when I'm there, like I want to be useful. That's how I feel most involved, when I'm useful to other people. And it's definitely something people strive for. And I think it's the best feeling to feel as like I'm a useful asset here, and being able to help people and like let them use me in a way that I can assist them in things. And even just having conversations with friends, like, let me be your bouncing board. Let me be useful here for you. It allows you to
allows you to create relationships too.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want people to just like you because they can use you, but if they can use you, then they start appreciating you. You're like, man, like I have a really good connection. I can come stay at my buddy Dallas's place, and we can rip podcasts and do this. And like, he's got a car you can pick me up in, and like, it's nice. But I don't go there just because of that. Like, he's a great guy. If I didn't like him, I wouldn't be out here doing this. Yeah. But I can, because he offers this type of thing, and I might as well do it, like, and we can both grow in different ways. Maybe I can't provide money, but I can provide different things, value in different areas. And that's what I've come to realize. Without money, I've learned to realize that I have value outside of that money can't necessarily buy. There's other things where one of my close friends, he's kind of the same way. He makes a good living. He paid for here. He allowed me to stay at his place for a long time. But I was mentoring him in the faith, and he didn't have a brother to hold him accountable, and that's way more valuable than just a little bit of money, pocket change, and to him, that's everything. And I showed him a lifestyle that he was not used to, that we can go out and adventure every day. And there's a whole nother community of people like I can bring you in. And there's just different things that Now, bro, I can't wait to have the resources to pay for people, because I missed that in high school, bro. If people were with me, they didn't pay gas money, they didn't pay for food. Like, I covered that because I had it. Mm-hmm. Now I have to rely on people, and I do have to like bum off people sometimes, and like people pay for me. But I know I'm kind of reaping what I did in high school, and then I know that when I get to the point where I do have money, it's going to be right back to where I'm just providing for all my friends.
Have so much more appreciation for it. I feel like this go around. Like, I always talk about it, like being able to experience both ends of the spectrum of life. Dude, I love that shit. I love going from like bumming it to like the good life, back and forth. Because then it's like, bro, it's the reason why, I don't know if you saw that little white truck I have out there. Zach drives it, and dude, that truck gives me so much appreciation for my other cars.
It's a reminder.
It's a reminder, bro. I get in it, the stereo doesn't work, the seats are all dirty, it's slower than shit, it's all beat up, right? I get in, I slam the gas pedal, the thing barely moves. Like, it's just the simplest car, right? There's no air conditioned seats, there's no subwoofer, there's no nothing, right? And then I get in it and I feel appreciative for that. And I'm sitting in that car and I appreciate it. And then I go get my Corvette. It's like a whole new Corvette again. Whereas when I drive the car, like, I literally had it out the other day and I drive it quite a bit. And then like, I'm giving it gas and like, I'm like, dude, this thing feels slow. Like, this doesn't even feel like it's not doing anything, you know? And then I got to go back in the white car, the white truck, and being able to experience.
It's good to have balance.
Yeah, being able to experience it all.
It's kind of like my lifestyle right now. Sometimes I'm bumming it on a couch. Sometimes I got my own room and my own car and my own truck. And I'm like living bougie. And other times I'm bumming it so hard. But oftentimes I love bumming it on my friend's couch and his mom's cooking us meals or something. And it's so homey. I was sitting at China Walls by myself, and I was just watching other people be like, yo, so like, what are we going to do later? Let's go do this and that dinner. And it's like where are we going to go watch sunset? And the sun's going down and they're at China Walls, the best sunset spot ever. And I'm like, bro, they don't even they're so worried about being somewhere else. They don't appreciate where they're at. And like, I don't ever want to be that way. And yeah, it's sad because most people are so caught up in the future. A lot of times, all of us, we are so caught up in the future that we forget to enjoy the present moment. And we're so worried about, and the Lord says in Matthew 6, he says, don't worry about tomorrow. For tomorrow will have as much worry for itself. You know, he says, don't be anxious about what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear. In fact, I want to read this right now.
Read this, and then I gotta ask you if you know this fun fact about the Bible.
So when he says, no one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. This is why I tell you, don't worry about everyday life, whether you have enough food or drink or enough clothes to wear. Isn't life more than food and your body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you far more valuable than them? Aren't you far more valuable to him than they are? Can all your worries add a single moment to your life? So he says, why don't worry about these things, saying, what will we eat? What will we drink? What will we wear? These things dominate the thoughts of the unbelievers. But your heavenly Father already knows all your needs. Seek first the kingdom of God and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today.
Fire.
So good.
That's so good, dude. How calming is that?
It gives me so much peace, bro. Knowing that I don't know where in my bank account right now, I don't have enough money for next month. Just for food and stuff, I don't. But you know how many times I've been in that situation the past 2 years? Almost every month, bro. And then the next month, he provides. He provides opportunity. He provides someone who brings me into their home and feeds me for a little bit. He provides a work opportunity. He provides a commercial gig. He provides a competition or something, or clothing, or then the retreats. Like, he provides, man. And he wants me to trust him with that. And the more I trust him with that, and the more he sees that I trust him with that, then he'll start blessing me with other things for me to be able to bless other people. But if he gives me money right now, maybe I'd screw it up. maybe I'd spend it and use it unwisely. So he's like, I feel like he's teaching me how to just be okay with what I have and live under my means. And so that then when I have the money, I'll be wise with it and be able to share it and give and be generous.
And not just inflate your lifestyle quickly.
Exactly.
Let it.
In fact,
sleep on couches.
In fact, Solomon talks about this a lot. Wealth that's gathered quickly ends in poverty every time. Bro, he said, and this is coming from the richest man to ever live, bro. He wrote Proverbs and he's talking about how like wealth that is gathered quickly, work brings profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. Dude, Proverbs is so cool. If there's one thing, like read the gospel, but then also read Proverbs. Like this one right here. We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. Wow. Or this one. A bowl of vegetables with someone you love is better than steak with someone you hate. That kind of goes back to what we were just saying. Like,
yeah.
Like I was with this guy, you know what I mean? But like a bowl of, like, oh my gosh, that's dude. Like it's such heat. Everything in here. Ooh, I love this. Good planning and hard work leads to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts leads to poverty. Those who love pleasures become poor. Those who love wine and luxury will never be rich. Wow.
Read that one again. What was the first part?
Those who love pleasure become poor. Those who love wine and luxury will never be rich. Those who shut their ears to the cries of the poor will be ignored in their own time of need.
Do you know what the most common phrase in the Bible is?
Do not be afraid.
How freaking cool is that, bro?
Do not be afraid.
Epic. I love that. I just learned that like a month and a half, 2 months ago. I'm like, damn.
It's so cool.
I need to just not be afraid.
It's comforting.
Ever.
Yeah.
But it's hard. This is another good one. Choose good reputation over great riches. Being held in high esteem is better than silver and gold. Proverbs is so awesome, bro. Like there's so many things, so many good takeaways. Ooh, this is something I had to underline and pray over because it hits deep with me. It says, don't visit your neighbors too often or you will wear out your welcome. I'm like, damn, well, maybe like,
wow.
Even though some people allow me to come in and stay at their place and welcome me, like I shouldn't take advantage of that I shouldn't abuse that.
Yeah.
I should use it, but I can't abuse it. And there's a fine line and it takes discernment to know what that is. But reading that, it was just like, okay, wow. Like, okay. And he says, do you like honey? Don't eat too much or it will make you sick. You know, like even though you like all these things, like don't abuse it because it'll make you sick. Even though it's so good for you and it's so, oh, bro. Don't brag about tomorrow since you don't know what the day will bring. So it's like saying like, oh yeah, bro, next year we're going to be doing this with the business. We're going to be doing this. We're going on this trip. We're doing that. Don't brag about tomorrow. You don't know. You don't know what the day is going to bring. Let someone else praise you, not your own mouth. A stranger and not your own lips. Wow. Anger is cruel. Wrath is like a flood, but jealousy is even more dangerous. And then I love this one. Income from charging high interest rates will end up in the pockets of someone who's kind to the poor. Whoa. That's crazy. Income from charging high interest rates, like abusing your power. All that is going to come into the pockets to those who are generous to the poor or kind to the poor. Somehow, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it just does. The people that money ends up going to the people that are faithful with their income and with what they have. The Lord provides, bro, and he takes from the people that are greedy. He uses that money and then it funnels into the people that trust him. And it's very comforting. It's like, don't be afraid. Like it's in his hands and having the Lord, bro, having the creator of the universe on your side, he can open doors that no other networking can open.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to put you in places that it's just not even, you think, how's it even, you can't set that up. And when he puts you in those doors, he already prepared the minds of those people. So I always say, like, walk with the confidence like God sent you there, because he did. And that's the type of confidence that I've been rolling around with recently. It's a different type of confidence. It's a different type of confidence than on my own preparation. You know, it's like, nah, like the creator of the universe put me here for a reason, and he prepared the minds of you guys. So I'm here, and I have this confidence that I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to walk in this room. I'm supposed to be on this plane. I'm supposed to sit next to this person. I'm supposed to be there for this friend. I'm supposed to listen. And sometimes it's just listening to someone who needs to just like, that's a huge thing about being a believer and just like showing the light of Jesus. It's not always talking, bro. Sometimes it's just listening and just like showing that, like, listening to someone who they're going through something and you're like, bro, I feel you. Like, you're not alone. Like, I'm here for you. I've been through that. And it's like, they don't need advice all the time. They just need to know that they're not the only one.
Absolutely. Bro, that's a huge reason why I wanted to do this podcast with Braden, man. It's like, we've had deep talks and he'll just sit and listen. He's such a good freaking listener. And then when he drops value, it's like, yeah, you're right. That's hitting hard.
No, listening is one of my superpowers, and I've kind of known it growing up, but I've always been very observant and listening to like the conversation. And I know when to chime in. Like, I know how to speak up, and I can, but I mean, I grew up in, we call it the Rex household. We all have Rex voices, where we know how to command a room. We know how to have that presence, and we have to have that presence when we're with our family, because there's 9 siblings that all talk louder than TV at 100. Like, they're just the loudest voices in the room. Like, you have to have a powerful voice to speak up. But it also taught me, don't speak up unless I have something that's powerful to say. And there's 2 sides of that, because like, you definitely need to learn to speak up and like stand up for yourself. But also on the other side of things, it's not good to not say anything and kind of be afraid from saying things. So it's kind of learning from both sides of that, is learning when to listen and learning when to speak.
And knowing, like, when you are going to speak, try and bring something of value.
And I know I've been yapping a bunch, but I get passionate.
That's why you're here.
When I'm on,
we have you here too.
We brought you on. This is like, you are the guest.
This is a cool verse. This is written by Solomon as well. This is Ecclesiastes. He says, "The more words you speak, the less they mean. So what good are they?" The more words you speak, the less they mean. So what good are they?
That's right in line. You got to wait to speak until it's really something that's going to hit. Really something that you want to stand by, not just try and fill space because it's awkward silence, or
because then your words mean less. Yeah. Just filling. And bro, sometimes it's nice just to like think with other people, because sometimes you might be thinking the same thing.
Love that, man.
Just like a moment of silence sometimes is nice. But I don't even know what to talk about anymore. How long do you think this has been going?
How long?
We're sitting at 2 hours flat.
Should we wrap it up? That's a pretty solid session, man. We hit everything, I feel like, bro. I would say this was a very complete, well-rounded, beautiful podcast that I am very grateful that is going to... we have on record, and then we're going to have this forever. I'm looking forward to revisiting this 10, 20 years from now. And
just looking back on it, bro.
Watching the whole progression of everything and being able to have something like this is a huge reason why I wanted to start the podcast, is just to have real conversations with people that I like. So I'm grateful that you're out here, bro. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me on here. I'm going to end this in some prayer, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for just an amazing day, and for allowing me to be here in Utah with just such an amazing couple guys. And just thank you for the opportunity to glorify you and have the platform to use my experiences to, maybe if there's someone out there listening to this, that they feel comforted by the fact that they're not alone with something, Lord. And if it's just one person out there that feels that, man, then this whole thing was worth it, And so I just thank you for the opportunity, and we just we're so grateful for another day. And Lord, I just I just pray that if there's anyone out there that and they're struggling with something, and that they can reach out to someone who they know, or they reach out to us, or they just know that they can reach out to you, that you're there, and that you love them more than anything, and that you're their father, and that you just want the best for them. And so God, we just thank you, and we give you all the praise and glory in your precious and holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that, bro.
Beautiful.
I love that. We haven't prayed on the podcast yet. We got two.
We did it twice.
Two good ones today.